Okay, the Naruto live-action Lionsgate film movie is looking to be horrible based on what I heard. Like, literally, to quote it, Dragon Ball Evolution, if not worse. So in case you ain't here, it's been over 9 years since Lionsgate Studio had acquired the rights to create a Naruto live-action film. It was roughly less than a year after the original Naruto manga had ended its serialization. In fact, according to a video I had made, July 31st, 2015 seems to be the date it was announced. We heard about 4 or 5 years ago they were doing casting calls for certain characters, but we really didn't hear much of anything about this project. And considering the fact that it's based on one of the most popular Japanese anime or manga IPs in the world, you would think that we would have had some major updates by now. I mean, 9 years to create a film. I understand some films take a long time, but yeah, especially considering everything we know historically about the live action Hollywood adaptations of manga or anime, they haven't been the greatest. In recent times, things have gotten a bit better. We've had the One Piece live action that was met with critical acclaim. I personally thought the Cowboy Bebop live action wasn't so bad, although I know a lot of people will disagree on that end. And at the very least, for a bit, it had seemed that we was going in the right direction when it comes to adapting manga and anime into live action films and TV series. However, word has been circulating some crazy stuff about the Naruto live action adaptation, and it's not sounding great. To be honest with you, the only reason I think we're even getting any sort of traction or any sort of updates on the Naruto live action is simply because after last year's smash success with One Piece, also one of the most popular anime and manga in the world, they probably thought to themselves, hey, if they could do it with this One Piece IP, why can't we do it with Naruto? In fact, in the West, Naruto has been shown to still be one of the most popular anime and manga of all time. Also, probably their license is running out. I gotta imagine if they licensed this thing almost a decade ago, they probably don't have that much longer to make a film or lose the license and their investment. Because seemingly the process is they pay a whole bunch of money up front to have the license to be able to make the movie, and then they either make the movie, or if they don't do it within a certain time period, yeah, the rights go away and they can no longer make the movie, and they lost all those millions and millions of dollars that they had to pay up front. But trying to put together an adaptation of an anime and manga at the last second, which is what seemingly they're trying to accomplish with this Naruto live action, it's not cutting the mustard at all, because reports have been coming in from people close to the movie, close to production, that, well, just take a listen to what was said. While at Comic-Con, I've been told the live-action Naruto movie in development at Lionsgate with Denston Daniel Cretton is a complete disaster. I'm told it's on the level of Dragon Ball Evolution, or even as bad as what Lionsgate is doing with the Crow reboot. Before we continue, those words alone, Dragon Ball Evolution, we all know Dragon Ball Evolution literally set back anime to live action adaptations like 20 centuries. So what I'm told is that those who are working on Naruto don't have a clue in the world. It's so bad that those working on the movie don't even know who the villains of the character are, yet they're developing the movie. I'm told it's a similar situation to that of Dragon Ball Evolution, where they're just developing Naruto to take advantage of the built-in audience, but don't know anything about the IP and don't respect the source material or the fans. And honestly, that just sounds like a nightmare. This sounds so bad if this is indeed what is happening and what's going on with production of the Naruto live action. For starters, again, it's already in and of itself an immense task to adapt any foreign material into your native speaking language, and the customs and the traditions and all of the subtle nuances, all of the cultural aspects. There's so many things that needs to be taken into account when creating an adaptation from something from a foreign land, and that's if you are familiar with the material. If you are just going based off of like titles like, oh, okay, this guy, his name is Naruto, his name is Orochimaru, like, oh my god, them saying they don't have any ideas about the villains, like, I'd really hope two things either happen. Either A, they try again and bring in the right people to make sure that this movie is actually done correctly, or B, allow the license to go to another studio that is very passionate, very excited, and very familiar with the source material. Because if you have no idea about the source material and you're just winging it, it will really do horribly. And I know we're in the age of, hey, taking an L is actually a W as far as these type of things go, which is what a lot of people assume and theorize is happening with the film film industry and things of that nature of like, yeah, you're gonna see a giant return of taking an L opposed to hoping that it's good and trying your best. So just go for the L. And if that's what Lionsgate is thinking about doing with Naruto, then we could be headed into an immense catastrophe of a film. Or they could learn from history, learn from what happened with Dragon Ball Evolution, how it sullied the market for live action adaptations, and try and make something good. Say what you want about the One Piece live action adaptation, but at the very least, it was palatable enough for people to actually get into it, enjoy it, and even the hardcore and purist fans don't feel disrespected by the approach that was taken with the actual creation of this series. Not to mention, again, it's a movie, which if you're trying to adapt Naruto, I'm not sure how much you could fit into one film of OG Naruto content. So that in and of itself is going to be another hurdle. There are so many hurdles to go through to make something really good of that nature. But if you have people that aren't passionate about it and don't understand the source material, you're not going to get a great product, and the fans are going to be very upset. And Lionsgate may look at it from a different angle of they're going to see a great return on investment as far as not losing out on all the millions actually making something, and at the same time they'll see a major check on the back end of things when it's all said and done. I want to say, thankfully, at the very least, there are some live action adaptations that are doing justice to the names of these said series, so that way, even if hypothetically speaking this movie does see the light of day, and even if hypothetically speaking it is one of the worst anime live action films of all time, set right next to Dragon Ball Evolution, I don't think it'll do that much damage to the future of live action adaptations from anime and manga and foreign content in general, because we're just in a different time period. Back in those days, in like 2009 when Dragon Ball Evolution came out, that was literally like the start, you know, the catalyst. That was supposed to be what ignited live action anime adaptations. So there really wasn't any padding around to say, well, the Dragon Ball Evolution movie sucked, but we have X, Y, and Z that were great. Now, yes, there's still many stinkers, but you can say, well, those Rurouni Kenshin films were kind of good. Edge of Tomorrow wasn't too bad. One Piece live action is pretty good. But even then, I gotta say, as a massive Naruto fan, been a massive Naruto fan for a very long time now, I gotta say that if we get a bad film, considering the fact that the Naruto IP outside of the Boruto spin-off stuff, which a lot of Naruto fans just don't seem to gravitate towards, don't understand why. Two Blue Vortex is pretty good. You should check it out. It's been an insane drought for Naruto. There's nothing there. Storm Connections was a dub. We don't get anything anymore nowadays. So if this is what you're telling me you're doing with the IP while it's kind of in rest mode and making a garbage live action film, please, Shueisha, step in, get involved, talk to Lionsgate, be like, yo, we'll cut you off some bread. Y'all just give us our IP back. We got a studio right over here that is gonna make it happen and make some good. Now that I think about it, it could be also the reason why the Naruto IP is in rest mode. They're basically like, well, let's see what Lionsgate does, and after that, then once we have the rights to make our own stuff and all that, we'll move forward and figure what we're gonna do with the IP. Also because they're letting Boruto have its run. But yeah, people, it seems as though there's a high probability that the Naruto live action Lionsgate film is going to be a disaster. It's going to be worse or at the level of Dragon Ball Evolution, and that's not a good sign at all. Let's just hope that the people down at Lionsgate have a change of heart and decide to bring in the right people, or again, just give up the license so somebody else could do it justice. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. As always, people, have an awesome day, and subscribe and hit that bell to get more. Thank you so much. Yeah. But in the end, it always ends with the end. So let's not pretend we can always start anew. We can do it again.